Stand clear.
100% Wild Podcast.
So for all you listeners,
Hello, and welcome to
definitely not your favorite outdoor podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild Podcast, episode number 280. And this show is, as always, brought to you by DeerCast.
It's a bonus episode. You're Tim Chelsvik.
And you are a bonus Matt Drury.
And we got Mark Drury on set.
A real bonus.
That's not why it's a bonus. It's a bonus because we're doing two this week. We pumped out the one with Steve Stoltz that was aired earlier in the week.
Our buddy Steve.
Yeah, and Mark was in town. We had a get-together, a family gathering over the weekend, and you stopped by the studio before you headed back to your home state, Iowa, and we figured we better get you in the podcast.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me.
I always feel like...
Well, it's your building.
Since Coondog...
Thanks for allowing me.
Ever since we had Coondog on, I feel like we have to prove that people who are wearing glasses are actually wearing their glasses. Those are legit glasses that Mark has on his head.
So Coondog came in and did an episode. Tim was out that week, and so Coondog came in and did the podcast with me. And I didn't know it, but he wore the fake glasses we have here for the 13 episode for reflections. And so at the end of it, I had no idea. At the end of it, I was like, you know what? I thought it'd be funny if Coondog read the Rack Pack member's name.
Couldn't see it.
He butchered them. Like I butcher them, but he was literally not able to read them.
Over there?
Dog.
Too good.
And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And he never said anything. When we got off, he's like, I couldn't read. I didn't have glasses on. I'm like, he had them like the paper was this close to his face.
Welcome to myopia.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
So whenever people join the Rack Pack, we were just talking off air how so many of you guys are DeerCast users.
That's awesome. Thank you.
The other thing that they say, not to a person, but most of them, probably 8 out of 10, say their favorite thing about the show is when we have Mark and Terry on.
For sure.
Because they learn something.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. All right, guys, easy. We understand.
Right.
we had like the most views all year was the last episode Mark was on.
Big time.
Yeah, so Mark, come on. Every episode, we need you.
We need a nugget.
Pump up our stats.
But the other thing people talk about is wanting to hunt with Mark and Terry.
Well, and every couple years we run a promotion or so, and we're about to start a new one.
You know, we've done some auction hunts and we've done some giveaway hunts through DeerCast and through our social pages, and we're about to announce a new one. Well, we are announcing it essentially. We're going to do the same thing we've done: 2 days at Terry's farm, 2 days at mine. The season of your choice, so you could come during the Missouri rifle season, the archery season, or the primitive weapon season. It's really your choice. And we've had great luck. We're 3 for 3 with pretty much giants. I mean, we've had really good luck. So
don't screw it up if you win this.
Yeah, we want to keep that train rolling.
Both your farms are in Missouri, so it's over the counter tags. That's the reason why we do that. It's easy to get the tag. And so we're doing the giveaway this year. The hunt will take place next year. But the cool part about it, it's not just the hunt giveaway. Yep. There's a brand new tracker giveaway, Tracker 800 giveaway.
Which is one hell of a machine.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's funny. Jared Gibson, one of our team members on Critical Mass, he just bought one, and he sent me a text, and he's like, it was a picture of the tracker, and he goes, I just picked up a tracker. I am amazed at how quiet this thing was. And I didn't look close to the picture. I'm like, I'm thinking it's the electric version. I'm like, they're super quiet. And I zoomed in. I was like, oh, no, it's the 800, and that thing is super quiet.
It is, and what will fool you about it, it doesn't match its power, right? You think, how can I do all these things and be this quiet? Because normally you think power, loud engine, and it's really not. They've kind of got the best of both worlds. It's a very quiet unit, yet it'll do anything we put at it. I know you're mowing with it and doing field work with it. It's pretty awesome.
We've been pulling that 3-foot RTP groundbreaker, and that sucker's heavy. I mean, I don't know what the weight is on that thing, but it's...
I don't know either.
I bet it's well over 1,000.
Oh yeah, it's got to be over 1,000 pounds. Dude, certainly.
Geez.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're pulling it. We're cold packing, disking. We're using the heck out of it. And like you said, we got a pull behind mower, 5-foot mower. I mean, it's doing all that work.
It's pretty awesome. So we're giving one of those away. We're giving a hawk blind away, an office blind, which I absolutely love. They're like sitting in your office and hunting. So we've got 3 awesome prizes. It's really
three different winners.
Next to the farm giveaway. This is probably the biggest giveaway we've done.
I think so.
So pretty cool. We just want to say thank you to everybody out there that has tried DeerCast, or whether you're a free user or an unlimited user, whatever it is. We appreciate you for downloading that app and talking to us in there and letting us know what you want, and we want to give back.
And it has no bearing on what subscription level you have. I mean, free users, whoever you enter, anybody can enter into the contest. And
absolutely.
I think we're pulling the names, the winners, like December 15th.
December 15th. Yeah.
So we got some time.
It'll be a great Christmas present for people.
Got some time to sign up, and pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. We're going to pay for you to get there. We're going to feed you. We're going to love up on you. We're going to have some fun. Drink a beer too if you want to do that. And
this sounds really got a lot better when you said they're going to love up on you. I'd like to.
Well, get over here, you.
I say that because we've become friends with the guys that have been in. Scott, Matthew, Dennis, all of those guys I still communicate with. So it's pretty cool, and that's the cool thing about hunting. Like, my best friends are hunters, and anytime you meet a hunter, you automatically have that connection and you're immediately friends.
Kindred spirit.
And we get asked, all the time via email, and I'm sure the social team sees it on direct messages and stuff like that. Like, hey, could I come hunt with you guys? Hey, there's so many.
I always tell them, yeah.
There's so many stories out there where whether it's tough luck or inspirational stories or veterans or we wish we could take every single body. It's just too many. I mean, the requests come in daily.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, we just can't accommodate all that. We've always accommodated Catch a Dream Child every year and try to focus in on that. But this is a chance for us to say, you know what? Every so often we do a giveaway, and here's a chance to have somebody in.
Yeah. So. And just say thank you. That's the main thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So join that or enter it, I should say. On DeerCast, you can go to the giveaway tab and put your name in, because it's a new drawing. So if you've entered in the past, you want to re-enter, right? Yeah.
Now, if you've already entered for the tracker giveaway, you're automatically entered for
this year. Yep. And if you try to enter again, you'll get an error message, and that just indicates the system already has you registered. It's not letting you register again.
But so if you haven't entered at all in 2022, you need to go over there, check it out.
And maybe it goes without saying, but if it's a good hunt, then it'll end up on TV too.
Oh,
they all 3 have
13, right?
Yeah, they've all been on 13.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Bonus.
And cool. I think last year's, didn't he end up in deer season? Or no, was it?
I think he might have,
Deer season 21.
I feel like he did. Maybe? That was Dennis's biggest deer of his life. That was so much fun. It was awesome.
Well, and the one, was it Matt Pate, the one that killed at Terry's?
He killed a giant too.
Big, old, like a 7-year-old deer.
So did Scott. He killed that big, wide 10-point down in the bottoms. I mean, big old 5-year-old deer. They all have been really magnificent deer. So
you're 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah, we'd love to take you. So come on in.
Sweet. So, all right, you guys, I know in your neck of the woods in Iowa, I don't know about Missouri, but I know in Iowa, it's severe drought you've been going through.
Severe, as bad as I've seen it in many years.
And so a lot of that rain, I feel like we're getting record totals for the summer. 16 inches since May in my one farm.
Yeah, that pattern, everything was just south of us, right? Just south of us, or north of the state of Iowa, up in Minnesota. Mark Freeze, he's a farmer, and he's had great rainfall, but right there in Iowa, man, it's dry. The farmers are all crabby. The food plotters are crabby. Nobody wants to talk about the weather, but we're getting rain finally.
That's what I was going to say. So you guys did how many food plots that you put in across 2 states and a bunch of different properties?
41 green fields.
Plots. So,
but we're 4 shy.
Okay.
So 37.
So the rain, when you look at it, when I was looking at the 14-day forecast, say at the beginning of August, and I was looking at DeerCast, the 14-day, the hourly, trying to find any rain blips, but then going into the rain station and going out 14 days and not seeing much. Based on how much you have to plant, do you still go in and say, look, we know we're going to get it at some point. We got to start. When's the date you got to start?
Well, yeah. And, a lot of those biologic seeds already have a coating on them. And then we also coat them in seed coat. Yeah. And to me, that will preserve that seeding for 30 or 45 days on the small stuff. Grains, probably a couple weeks, like wheat, oats, that type of stuff. So we've held off on some of those products, but we did go ahead and get the winter bulbs and sugar beets and the radishes put in the ground. So, we had to. We have too many plots.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not gonna get them all in. So we did, and we just seed coated them heavily, fertilized, and now it's paying off because it's finally raining. I shouldn't say that. It's supposed to rain.
Do you know in your rain station how much are you supposed to get on?
1.5 is what it showed me this morning.
That's what we're getting to.
Yeah,
here.
that's boy.
Must be the same front moving.
I'd
through.
be sure happy if we got that 1.5. We need about 5.5, but 1.5 would be, well, put it this way. In the last 45 days, I've received 0.7 across 3 different fronts, like 0.2, 0.2, 0.3.
Brutal.
It's horrible.
It's not enough. That's not enough to do
No,
anything.
that's not enough to sustain life, man. It's bad. Everything's dead.
So what's the optimal frequency of rain and
Inch
amount
a week,
of rain?
inch per 10 days would be
Okay.
unreal. And you just don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
Well, what if you get a huge rain event where you get like just 2, 3, 4 inches, and then it's a couple weeks out? That doesn't equate the same way.
If it fell slow, it does.
Okay.
If it fell slow, and a lot of times rains, like, it really depends when they fall. Like a 1/4 inch falling at sunset is going to do more for you than
Noon.
3/4 of an inch falling at noon when it's 90 degrees with a high wind. So,
Evaporation.
and wind speed, sunshine and wind speed. So it really depends when it's going to fall. So this one's magical in that it is all predicted to fall tonight and into tomorrow. And then we have clouds sustaining after that. So, to me, it's like we're going to get the full benefit from this rain.
And temperatures, I haven't
Cooling
looked
off.
but they feel like they're cooling off for the next couple weeks too, which is
finally.
key.
Well, they're finally getting back to normal.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know about you, but in that 14-day hourly, have you seen any other blips? coming
Maybe
down
one
the-
more in here this weekend. I thought I saw a 40 or 50% chance coming up.
I have a lot of little chances,
Same.
but nothing
Yep.
major. Like this one coming tonight through all day tomorrow. It looks like for us, it's all like the one you're getting tonight. We're really getting in the morning all through tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's a big one.
But 14 days ago, this was a blip.
Yeah.
Like you got to really rain. The forecast for rain prediction is really not accurate till you're within a few days of it. And even then, it's very difficult to predict. So
Yeah.
what I always watch are the temperatures. Like if there's a blip that's associated with humidity and a temperature drop, that's generally when you catch rain. You've got to have that moisture and then a temperature drop, the front coming through to create the rain. So I always look for temperature drops. If you get a 12, 15 degree drop, watch that front because that's the one that's most likely going to produce rain for you.
Sure. And you also mentioned cloud cover earlier, and that's another one of the metrics that we track in DeerCast. If you go to the hourly, you can scroll across and
Yep.
you can see
When the sun's going to shine and when it's not.
exactly, which is helpful because I didn't think about just the sheer evaporation effect
Yep.
of direct sunlight and UV light and everything. But also that cloud cover is sometimes correlated with rain. You get more cloud cover, greater chances of rain. And
Can
you
be, yes.
You can see that reflected because
You definitely need clouds to create the rain.
that's right.
Definitely a plus.
Meteorology
if it's
101.
0% cloud covered, forget about it,
We had a weird sunshine rain event at my house a couple weeks ago.
Doesn't happen often, but once in a while it will. But there's still a cloud creating it.
Yeah, it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, I've been a weather watcher for years, so I watch all this stuff, and we always watch those temperature drops where we think, this one might actually happen. But the last 2 or 3 have missed us up there, or created very little rain.
So like we talked about, we had a family event this weekend, and you had other family matters here in the St. Louis area that you were in town for. So the rain's coming, it's starting to getting ready to hit there in Iowa, and you missed the weekend. Luckily, obviously you got great help there with Wade and Perry. Are they working like through the night to get? I mean, that's a ton of freaking pots.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was unable to be there yesterday to help them. Otherwise, I would have. But they started at, I think, daybreak, and they worked till 9 p.m., and then they started again this morning. But some of those went in ahead of the last front that
Sure.
we didn't receive. So they probably put in 20 plots in the last 2 days. We ended up 4 shy, but just because the rain got here sooner than normal. But that's okay. Man, I've never
take
been
it.
so happy to be rained
Yeah.
out. So, a big
guys
shout out to Wade
busted
and Perry. And Carson also jumped in there
Did
as
he?
well to produce some of it and then help them get from spot to spot. And that's our challenge. Like these things are spread out over 60, 70 miles north to south, east to west, 20 to 30. So
Getting equipment,
trailer and this
Jeez.
and fertilizer. I mean, it's all a lot of steps and a lot of travel.
I can't imagine. We got a little bit of a dose of that. So Friday we filmed the podcast with Steve Stoltz, and then I jumped up to Wellsville, which Scott was already up there where the new farm is, and we had prepped a lot of that Tuesday, luckily,
Right,
so it
yep.
didn't take a lot for us to get it finished. But we finished there, and then we put we had 3 different trailers of stuff that we took. It's probably a 45-minute to an hour drive back over to the Marthasville lease. And so then once we got there, it was by then it was dark. But then Sunday, Alan and Scott went back to the lease because we had this event that we were at, and they busted it and got a ton of work done and set us up for some success. So now today, Scott's finishing this morning in Marthasville, and then we're meeting up in Ellsbury to try to get our last plot in. But all that shit, it's just like you got to take it from one place to the next, and on the scale you guys are doing it, I can't imagine, because it's monumental.
It is, and some of it's just logistics. It's like you got to plan it out, but you got to plan the execution, then execute the plan. Otherwise, the planter's here, the groundbreaker's there, the tractor's there. Right. Like, you have to figure out what steps you're going in, who's doing what, and where it needs to go. And we did a lot of prep last week, but, make no mistake about it. Perry and Wade are animals. I mean, they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
So. I told them, I said, you guys worked your butts off, and hopefully you get rewarded with this rain that's predicted. So
Yeah, definitely.
And then big deer this fall.
Yeah, well, certainly. That's the main ingredient. That's why they work like animals, because they're motivated highly. So.
I just bought a few bags of lime and some fertilizer, and I'm buying 40 pounds because the scale is just totally different. But already I'm seeing, like, the lime was last year it was $4 some. This year it's $6 some a bag of fertilizer.
Everything's up.
Yeah. So what are you seeing as far as the economy is?
Is there a percentage of cost increase that you're looking at this year?
Well, it varies. Fuel's about double what it was last year. Fertilizer's up 60, 70%. So it just varies. Chemicals went up. All the input costs increased.
Sure.
So we tried to be as efficient as we could. We knew the exact size of every plot. We plotted all of them out within DeerCast, got the area. We knew exactly how much fertilizer we needed. We soil tested everything ahead of time so that our fertilizer application was spot on. We weren't putting too much down to make sure that we were as optimum as we could be from a cost standpoint.
Well, at the scale you guys, the amount of plots that you have and the way it's spread out, are you guys getting like a cart of fertilizer and lime, and then you're
with an
taking
average mix? Yep.
Okay, so you're just trying to say, like, hey, here's about what we need everywhere, and then you go
based on the
it.
overall average. So and we're spreading it a little thinner than last year, trying to save on some cost. And because the thing with fertilizer is, if by chance it comes up, it's not looking good, you could top dress it and affect it immediately.
Sure.
So all the steps we could take, we did.
Yeah.
But it's at the end of the day, it was still more expensive. So
one of my buddies was using DeerCast Elite Plus, and he was using the area shape tool to build one of his food plots. And it was funny because he was talking, he's like, Tim, when I put that plot in, I figured it was at least 1.5 acres. And when I got done, I walked it and built that in DeerCast. It was 3/4 acre.
Big difference.
And it really
saved
is.
Saved 50% off.
Yeah. So it's like that feature alone could really save someone, because no one's really great about.
It just paid for his DeerCast, is what it did. I mean, right?
Oh, more than
saved,
that.
It just what he saved in fertilizer costs.
Exactly.
Yeah, 3/4 acre, you save more than that.
Yeah, because I'm not great at estimating area size just by looking at something.
Well, I can remember we used to step them off and go into our calculator and try and figure it out, but it's a lot easier to do it within DeerCast. You know exactly what it is. You can save it. You've got it forevermore.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Last episode, Matt was going in on moon phase and how things are shaping up. So it's probably time for a public service announcement.
I kept saying I would not listen to anything I'm saying. Somebody, I don't know how it came up, but it was like, Steve mentioned something about you and Terry's predictions you always do every year. And I go, well, we've talked about it a little bit, and the moons, when the moon's hitting each month and what it would do to the season. And I just said what I thought. But I kept saying, like, don't listen to what I'm saying. We need to have Mark and Terry
Sounded
tell
intelligible.
Us. I try to give the biggest disclaimer. Don't listen to this. We need to have the guys back on it.
When's it full? September the 8th, October the 8th, something like that?
9th, I thought October the 9th and maybe the November.
Oh, look
10th
out, first week of October. Don't miss it in Iowa. Matt's got an Iowa tag, so he's coming up to hunt with us. So that first week of October, it's always good. It will be optimally good, provided we have
weather
at normal temperatures or below.
Yeah.
It's going to be unreal. I love a full moon the first part of the month. Early November, when they're seeking, is going to be tremendous. So
I screwed that up then.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, usually you would like my thought process was, okay, if it's a full moon on like the 9th or 10th of November and the evenings are better leading into the full moon, would that screw up that good morning seeking movement?
No, I still think it'll be good right after that too. Right after it turns full, then the 10th, 11th, and 12th, those mornings on into the midday when they're starting to first get with them, because I still see seeking activity through about the 12th or 13th, and then they start locking down right about peak estrus. But that full moon, it's been a while since we've had a full moon the early part of October, November. It's going to be good, I think. If you have, temperature will slow a lot of that down, but it's going to be awesome, man. The evenings, early November and early October, oh my goodness.
I did say I felt like the Missouri gun season, like that mid-November, it's like 12th, I think, is the gun season. I thought will be like there's going to be a lot
sit
of
all
deer.
day. Better sit all day with that full moon, because that moon's going to be overhead, probably 10, 11, 12 o'clock that day. So better sit all day, because a lot of it's going to happen middle part of the day, which is always challenging. I love when they move first hour, last hour, because the season's so long, it works on you when you got to sit all day. So I like early morning, late evening.
Well, in the Missouri gun season, traditionally, we've always seen a good midday, like 10 to 2 type of a movement.
Yeah, that phase is
period.
good for midday anyway. Add a full moon to it, it gets really good.
Yeah.
So, it's I'm excited, but we just need cooler temperatures.
So how do you feel the mid to late October period will be dark of the moon? Like, how do you feel that's going to go?
If you're on the 9th, so the dark of the moon is going to be the 23rd, could be a little bit more challenging. But what happens then is you really rely on the weather. But what I see is a very shortened move, first hour, last hour during dark of moon. That's the one consistent thing I see. Full moon, you can extend more daylight activity. Dark of moon, it's literally first hour, last hour, and that's about all you get, unless you get a major front. Then it'll get them on their feet and moving. But late October is always good, but it won't be optimum like early October and early November. That's the good news, though. You're coming back into that full moon in the 30th, 31st of Halloween. You're just about starting to get better movement again in the afternoon. So, but it'll be good. But first week October is going to be on fire if it's cool.
I think I'm going to catch COVID around that time, and we'll need to quarantine myself. I just feel
Safest
it.
place in the stand.
Here we go.
I feel it coming on. I got a long pre-COVID. Yeah. It's a new thing.
You just can't go wrong timing your hunts and your time off in and around that full moon, in my opinion, in the Midwest. Yeah. That's the way I've seen it. And if you look historically through the Drury Outdoors kills, cold front rolls through, boom, everybody kills deer. And if it's around a full moon, even more kill deer. I mean, that's when we've killed them historically. We got 30 years showing what it
dark
does.
of the moon, like when we
slows down.
If our kill count, because by and large, we generally know where we need to be at the season, and we have a number that we kind of need to hit to produce the TV shows, and we have a big team to do this. So some guys have just a crappy year, some guys are on fire, so it all evens out. But by the end of, like if we're at mid-October, we know we need to be at this number. If we're at November 1st, we need to be about here. And when it's super slow, it's almost always, it's been too warm and it's a shitty moon. Yeah. And then we always catch back up. Always.
We're coming around the next full moon, boom. Yeah. Cold front and a full moon. Yeah. That's our equation. It doesn't lie.
So the moon overhead and underfoot, it's something
I don't pay nearly as much attention to that, but when it's high in the sky all day, I do pay attention to that, which is generally a few days after the full moon. Yeah. It will be up quite a while in the middle part of the day, and I see a lot of activity.
Which was just this past week, really. I mean, I saw a ton of
and there was a bunch of deer moving midday, crazy times.
Yeah.
Yep, crazy times, which is odd that even in the summer they do that, So, but it definitely affects it.
Yeah.
Well, bonus episode. Talk about some bonus information.
Well, we got into some things there.
I didn't know where the best episode of the year.
It very well could be. There's no wildlife word. There's no question of the day.
It is the best episode.
Yes, by default.
Less shenanigans.
Wildlife word of the day. It's raining.
Yeah,
hallelujah.
Yeah.
You can't get the biggest takeaway. You can't get rain without clouds.
That's right.
I felt like I almost knew that.
The more you know.
So what's next? I mean, you guys, I know you'll have some early season hunts that I know Taylor's going to start around the 28th or 29th.
In Utah. And then Wade and Jared are going to Alberta with Corey. And I was scheduled to go to South Dakota with Mark Freeze. And the outfitter called and he was like, I can't find a shooter anywhere. He goes, I don't know if they died or what happened. He goes,
wow.
I've never had this issue as long as I've been guiding. And I was like, I appreciate your honesty.
No kidding.
Huge.
Waste
That
your
was
time.
very
Thank you
nice of
so
him.
much. I said, I so appreciate and respect that. So
Because going on trips like that, where you especially guys like you, where you know your farm, you know your deer herd, you kind of have a great plan in place. When you go out somewhere and you're beholden to someone else's plan, and you can do as much as you can do by asking for pictures and plans and have maps and looking at DeerCast maps and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you are relying on them.
you are, and that is not a place that's comfortable for me in my mind, know. Now, if it's a Corey Jarvis where we've got a long history, no problem. That's like coming over to hunt with one of you guys. But a new place, like I said, I so appreciated his honesty.
Yeah.
I met him at the Iowa Deer Classic through our friend Kurt. He goes, man, you need to talk to this guy. They just picked up a new 26,000 acre ranch in South Dakota, and he's jacked about the mule deer on it. So I went and started talking to him, and I said, I want to book a hunt with you, So we had it all lined out. Freeze and I were going to go out, but not to be. So I think instead, I've got a new spot in Texas that needs to be set up, and we're going to go down there and spend some time down there.
Use your time wisely.
Yep, big time. So
When will you then go back to Texas? You wait till
Mid-October.
October? Yeah, when it gets crappy.
right around my birthday.
The Midwest.
Yeah, 14th, 15th, right in there. I'll go for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. And you guys have always had good luck down there about
Unbelievable luck down there.
Yeah.
Yep, real good. So
now,
good.
is this piece, it's close to the old lease that you had?
Yep. It
Yeah,
is
so
real
your
close.
peak,
It's where we've turkey hunted for several years.
peak estrus, all that stuff will be
Yeah,
same.
identical. It's next door. So
And what was that? It was November.
about 23rd, 24th, about 10 days later.
Back, yeah.
Yeah, so I just reset down there, so I don't have to change DeerCast. It's still in there.
And I don't know, that's something we don't talk. I mean, we did in like the
point,
first
yeah.
couple years, but we don't talk about it a ton. And it's something that used to be a little easier to find and change. But you can change your peak estrus state for any of your DeerCast locations. So you go into DeerCast, and wherever you have a location set, the easiest way. So like if you go up to the top left, and it says the name of the town that your location is set, and you hit the drop down. When you hit the drop down, your locations show up. There's a 3-dot. There's a trash can and 3 dots on the side of it. You click the 3 dots, and that's where you can check your peak estrus. It's got a date that's been kind of like auto set for you in the app based on your location, but it allows you to go in and use a different date and change it, like you said, 10 days in your instance of what it is in the Midwest.
Yeah, certainly.
And that's huge because it then shifts the entire 13 phases whichever way it needs to be shifted. Yeah. And so then your phases line up with what our phases are here in the Midwest, but for your location and your peak estrus.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty cool.
It is a pretty handy feature.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
And it works.
It's the cornerstone for the algorithm.
It is. There's so much in that app. It's amazing. We talk about, what all's in it. And some days, like if I'm close to edge of service, it takes a while to load. But if you think of everything that's loading, it's a social feed, it's a map, it's a predictive model. There's servers spinning up just for you. So if it takes a little bit longer when you're in edge of service, just know that it's because there's so much in that app. And I think the best way to navigate through that, especially if you're doing mapping stuff, is to go into offline maps when you've got great service, download all of your farms. And if you get close to edge of service, just go to offline maps. It'll really, really help you if you're doing food plot work or, checking range stations. The only thing you can't do is wind direction in that because it's not getting the weather
radar.
feed and radar. Yeah. So
and one of the things that I know, if I have a farm, like for instance, one of the leases, Scott, he just can't get any like social media, nothing works there for him. He's just kind of a dead zone. So if you were to open DeerCast for the first time while you're in that kind of dead zone, it's not going to open up for you. But
because it can't.
What we do is open it, head into the farm, we check the forecast, it loads all that data, and it, hey, I'm going to switch over to offline now, and it's already been loaded, it's already up. So when you get to the dead zone, it's still working for you.
It's kind of like your hack in the maps when you press the
top left,
upper left, the map goes to that town, whatever you have preset in. This is another hack in that if you're nearing edge of service, just go to offline maps, turn on airplane mode,
that's
and
the key.
stay offline. Because our offline offering is the best out there, man. I mean, it's incredible what you can do without any service. I mean, I'm pretty proud of what we've done with offline maps. Just make sure you download them when you're at home.
And then any assets you add to your map in
still
offline maps will then just sync
Transfer.
up with the cloud when you get back, when you pop out of airplane mode. So if you hop into your, like maybe you got DeerCast on your iPad, or you want to log into DeerCast.com on your computer, it'll all be there.
Yep. So it's really a matter of communicating that so every user knows. So if you've got a buddy that's having trouble with edge of service, well, we created a path around edge of service with our offline map offering.
All right. I hate to wrap this up, but you and I have an important Zoom call with our buddies over at Mossy Oak. So
can't wait. Going to go talk to Toxie and Chris and Daniel and Neil and Jess and have a great conversation.
Yeah. So we appreciate you jumping on the bonus episode. The bonus episode is better than the most of our regular episodes. So
we should do all bonus episodes.
Yeah, let's just do bonus episodes from now on. This is your first time on the set too, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. Maybe I zoomed in once.
You've zoomed. Yeah, we've had you on Zoom. But
yeah, right on.
Yeah. We should. You're here in Missouri so little. This part of Missouri so little. I'm like, we better shoot one with them.
Strike while the iron's hot.
That's right. So
give the people what they want.
I will say, like, I wish we could do every one of our podcasts with in studio
so
guests.
much more fun.
It's so much more fun.
It is, but it's challenging with schedules and people are busy. So.
It is. So
yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, unless you guys got anything else, I'd say let's wrap it up.
do.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Until next time.
See ya.
Peace out.
DeerCast is now supercharged with maps. Get ahead of your game with killer new features like live Doppler radar, wind check out to 5 days, virtual rain gauges, GPS path tracking, and more. Plus, get our 14-day revolutionary DeerCast prediction and access to DeerCast Track. Prep, predict, and pursue with DeerCast.
We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV was brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.